Hello, people of the internet, it's Amanda, and if you're new here on my channel, I usually talk about Japanese movies, dramas, entertainment. Sometimes I tap into other Asian pop culture topics as well, and one of the things that I absolutely love talking about here on my channel is Number I, the GBAD Number I remix with Jackson Wang. The music video is bound to come up really soon, and I'm just super excited to kind of like do a live reaction and actually film it and then talk about it after. I think when they were just kind of like teasing this collaboration and been posting a lot of like photos and also like video clips and stuff like that, I myself have also been asking like, is there going to be a music video for this? And apparently there is, and I'm just sitting down here and looking forward to the actual premiere and kind of like just reacting along with you guys. So yeah, it's not even starting and I'm actually amused already. I really love the kind of like film-ish style that they did. It kind of like parallels with God Eyes music video. This is so interesting. I really love the kind of like retro-ish treatment when it comes to like the filming. They're so cute. It just seems like you're just having fun. Have like one day to film this and it's just Sure. Oh my god! I'm so obsessed with Kirshi's vocals during this part. I love this ensemble on show. Just looks so good on him. Ah! I love the choppiness of the editing for it. And again, just the messaging of the song overall. And it just really seems like it, that they have one day to film this, went with it, and went with a very nice choppy concept, and it worked out. So amusing to see the four of them, you know. This is so cute. It seems like a really fun day for the four of them to just go with it. Pretty cool. That's a nice video. That's a fun video, all I would say. And I've talked about this song in detail in like my previous video when I first heard it. I think generally the message of the song is, you know, like life is really good in terms of just overall, just a generality of it. But sometimes you just have to kind of like put a little edge in yourself and not be too kind in a sense as well, because people are just, the world is not that nice to actual nice people. And I know that that's kind of like a funny thing because we've all had these sayings of like kill him with kindness, or just, you know, still be kind in a world full. And it's not saying like you have to be a complete douchebag all the time. Like that's not, even if that's the main hook of the song, it basically is just a reminder of kind of like a little bit of self-preservation. And it's usually something that I also tell my friends sometimes, because I've been lucky to be paired with just some of the nicest, kindest people ever to be my friends. And the world's not often that nice to them, even if they're kind of like really borderline angelic. And so I kind of like understand the essence of what the song is trying to say. Now, focusing on the video itself, it's just super fun. I've mentioned this on like Twitter/X before, when I saw like the Instagram live promotion that Jackson and Number I did, and there may have been some language barriers between them, because Jackson is still not that good in Japanese, the boys are still not that good in English, but music really connects people in certain ways that is just so magical to watch. And in a sense, like sometimes gestures, body language, and just overall rapport supersedes what language can give, and it kind of like bridges that gap. And it shows here in the music video that it just seems really, really fun. I really love anything kind of like retro vintage treatment when it comes to, you know, the film style. Again, it provides such a good parallel with the filming style that they used for some parts of God Eye, which is so interesting to me. And it kind of like, just even the transitions, the editing, it really reminds me so much of like 80s, 90s type of like editing when it comes to TV shows or commercials and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just really, really love that, those kinds of like treatments. Even a vibe of it, like they didn't really went with a lot of like different sets. It's just in one place, not a lot of like different costume changes as well. It's just pretty this one. And I think it is just something that I squeezed in between, you know, Jackson's visit to Japan and just in between the crazy schedule of Number I as well. But they made it work because it's such a simplistic concept, and sometimes a simple concept is all you need, especially for something like this, which is already kind of like a fun collab. Like what people want to see from the collab is the fun that these four already kind of like exhibited outside of it, which is part of kind of like their Coachella collab, and then at the same time, you know, the way that they've been promoting this so far, and kind of like just their rapport and vibe when they're kind of like together and posting photos and stuff like that. So anything beyond that would have kind of like pushed it a little off the edge. So this kind of like treatment is just perfect. Going back to, you know, just overall, I would say, again, we really love Kishi's opening part in the sequence. I love the change up in terms of his vocals, because again, usually he goes into what Shaw calls as a crazy Casey mode, with kind of like this quirkiness to the way that he sings and raps. But for this one, it's just kind of like this low register tone to it, and it's just so rich, and I love that. And then I think before, like, I'll do kind of like another run through of this, and then I don't know, just kind of like pause along the way as I usually do, kind of like dissect it a little bit. Okay, let's give it another go. Again, just really love this vibe. I love that Number I didn't really push for, you know, the more explicit parts, because that's not really their style. Left it up to Jackson. And again, this is him kind of like owning his song, adding more elements to it that is still very much like Number I, but they're not really kind of like overtaking his song as well. Just a good balance of this collaboration, which I really enjoyed. Sure. And then I know that I was like kind of like introing, you know, gushing over Shaw right here, but then this intro part with Kishi, absolutely love that. Love the look that he has on here as well. And then I forget how to like press the play button because of how amused I was. Really been enjoying the blonde hair of Kishi as well. I think I've talked about this before, but yeah. Shaw, good looking as always, no complaints there. And then with Jin, I really love that they kind of like retained his more softer melodic tone to his voice as compared to, you know, with Kishi and Sho with their kind of like lower registers for rapping. Again, is because it's just kind of like, and again, Jin also goes into some his lower register as well whenever they're doing rap, but I know it's just kind of like enjoyable, that kind of like switch up, which also transitions really well with the melody that Jackson is singing in the chorus. So that scream as well. And again, it's just like them just having crazy fun. And it just reminds me, like with Number I recently, the way that they're promoting God Eye, they've been using this kind of like fish eye camera a lot lately. And it seems kind of like a foreshadowing in terms of how this entire promo has been, and even this collaboration, even the treatment for this particular music video. So I don't know if that connects, but it's just kind of like a nice recall visually, I would say, for all the messaging of it. And I think with the way that Sho talked about this in his recent To Be line, him saying that, you know, he was really happy that Jackson kind of like did this collab with them. I think overall, given the messaging of the song as well and seeing how well they interact with each other, it's kind of cool how a song about making, like how hard it is to make connections with other people in a genuine sense because of just how kind of like transactional everything seems, and you always get judged for, you know, like how it is very straight up, very bare in terms of like the overall messaging of the lyrics. It's kind of nice that it became a collab track. And similarly with Number I as well, like they don't usually like collab as much outside of themselves. I also talked about before where even kind of like their marketing strategies, the way that they do their content, they don't usually interact with other artists' content in a way that usually with TikTok, like dancing to other dance trends and stuff like that. They usually stick to what they're promoting and kind of like prefer to be the trendsetters themselves rather than jumping into the trend to promote themselves, if you get what I mean. And so having a collaboration like this is very interesting, especially in light with the messaging of the song. And I know that Jackson's fan base, Jackies, are also being very kind in terms of the interactions that are happening, at least in the spaces that I'm in. I've been observing these interactions between the Eilies and the Jackies, and it's just super wonderful to watch. And overall, it's just fun, you know? So yeah, I think it's just kind of like a mishmash of things that work well together. And I think they all kind of like have the same level of quirkiness. Again, even with the language gap that was happening between the four of them. But it's just kind of like works out because they kind of like vibe with each other on a creative level. Again, so cute. And it just occurred to me, we have two Louis ambassadors here. And again, overall, just quirky, fun, the way that this video, like the treatment of it overall. And I think that really added to it, again, with all the like the simplicity of it, but at the same time, you kind of like enjoy what you're watching. And it just, the song is just a vibe, and so it doesn't need over complications to make it happen and to execute it. And I think they did it really well for this particular music video. And yeah, I think that's mostly that. It's quite fun doing live reacts to something, I guess. It's just not something that I can do given the release schedule of Number I, just generally. But if ever they do release music videos in a more favorable time, then chances are I'll do these kind of like live react, live filming things as well. But anyways, so talk me down in the comments below, like what are your thoughts on this collab, this music video, all these other things. I would love to hear everything that you would have to like say about this as well. If you want my kind of like more detailed analysis of just the song itself and the collaboration and all these other things, it's in the other video. And if you like what you hear and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. hit thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll be seeing you again soon in a new one. Bye!